What good is sitting on your room? How can you play? Oh, life is a cabaret old charm.
Well, welcome back. We are not listening to Liza Minnelli or Alan Cumming. We're listening to Seth Sikes, who's joined us in the studio along with producer Tony Simone.
Welcome, Seth.
Love
Hi.
that rendition of Cabaret. Tell us about it.
Oh, well, that's the finale of my new show, which is all the music of Liza Minnelli, which I'm doing at Feinstein's 54 Below.
Oh, it's a favorite venue of mine. I love Michael.
And
He's
I've seen
great.
his show. His show is great. Everyone should go.
So tell us a little bit more about the show. How are you doing all show tunes?
So about a year and a half ago, I started doing this show devoted to the music of Judy Garland, Liza's mother. And I do it with a big 8-piece band. And I did, 7 or 8 of those. And now we've just debuted a new show with my band, singing all the music of Liza Minnelli, her daughter. And we sing, everything from cabaret to a lot of Liza songs you probably have never heard before. But the thing is...
You'd be surprised.
Are you a Liza fan?
Yes.
That's good.
All right, I'm going to give you a little musical history. So for God knows why people don't know this.
Rob loves history.
Is New York, New York, a movie by Martin Scorsese starring Robert De Niro and Liza Minnelli. That's where the Cantereb New York, New York song made its debut.
That's
and
right.
I think that Liza, so she was the person to originate the song. Sinatra covered it, and I think Liza's version is much better.
I think it's much better, too.
Yeah. And Frank was older when he recorded it. Now I'm going to segue, since everybody here, except our engineer Robert Barrett, who looks very young, but he's my age, is too young to know this, but Judy Garland used to have a TV show.
Yes.
Robert is nodding his head. I think it was on PBS. And I mean, I was a kid, to show you how old this show was. It was like on in the 60s, and it was it was done at her apartment. And she was completely wrecked the entire time, which I didn't realize at like age 9. I was like, Mommy, what's wrong with this lady? And they're like, hi, everybody, come on in. And you'd like come into her apartment. It was like, it was a reality show, but it was a real reality show. They weren't going, let's make Kim and Kanye have a fight. It was like, Judy's drunk. Let's see what happens. Give her some more pills.
I have no idea about that.
Are you familiar with this show, Seth?
Well, the Judy Garland show I'm familiar with.
Yes.
The one in her apartment, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But they made the Judy Garland show feel like you were coming into her house.
Right.
Maybe that's what you're thinking?
My memory is she was, it was this stoned out old lady who was, I wondered why my mother used to run out of the room crying. What did I know? But, maybe it's my memory. Maybe it's the substances I was taking. My parents used to say, "Here, have some more of this Tylenol, son. Drink this NyQuil. It'll help you sleep."
Well, I try not to focus on the drugged Judy that people like to focus on.
Yeah, let's focus on the
No,
Judy
but
that we love,
she
Rob.
was still remarkably talented. And she
Rob?
could sing no matter what. I'm bringing us down here on Mother's
Just
Day.
a little bit.
This is a
Let's
Shonda.
focus on the amazing artist she was and Seth's talents in his show.
She was remarkably talented and one of the greats. And,
I think the great.
Tell us give us your encapsulation. Really, what?
Well, I don't know. I mean, when I can't remember who said it, but when she opened her mouth to sing, she also opened a vein. She poured everything into her songs, and I don't know. People have a stronger reaction to her than I've had them have to any other star ever. And I've had it since I was a kid.
Yeah, I wasn't meaning to debase or degrade her in any way. I mean, she is a remarkably talented entertainer because her power still holds forth today with somebody like you who loves her, and she was really adored and beloved when I was a kid. And Liza. I thought she was at her peak at New York, New York. And it's funny. The movie was heralded like 15 or 20 years afterwards. All of a sudden, they started bringing it back to film festivals. It was just a little bit ahead of its time. It was shot on sound stages instead of really in New York, and it was done with a real look. And it bombed at the time, and then 20 years later received attention. But it was too late.
Seth, how did you How did this come to you from a kid? Like when did you know you were a singer, entertainer?
That's a good question. Well, I was obsessed with these movies as a kid, Judy Garland movies, and this tape of Liza singing at Radio City Music Hall. And I used to sing the songs all the time in my bedroom, and growing up in a small town in Paris, Texas. And then, I sang in the church choir and things like that. And I actually heard a tape of myself singing at church one time, and it sounded so awful that I didn't sing again for like 5 or 6 years. And then later, when I was in high school, they recruited me into the choir, and they started starring me in musicals and stuff. And then I thought I was going to go work as an actor in musicals. So I went to acting school, and I did that for a little bit. But then I realized quickly I didn't want to be an actor. So I started directing, and mostly assistant directing in the theater. And I hadn't been on stage for over a decade before I got the balls somehow to get up 2 years ago and do this Judy Garland tribute, which was supposed to be one night only, which turned into 2 years, and then now we've just started doing this Liza show.
That's great.
It's kind of been a funny...
What are some other favorite Judy movies? Meet Me in St. Louis?
Summer Stock is my favorite.
That's with
Gene Kelly.
Gene Kelly, right?
Yeah, it's set on a farm. I think that's why I liked it as a kid. I really like Meet Me in St. Louis.
That's with Dan Daly, right? I think. Yeah, okay. I know that's where she was born, in the trunk of a suitcase or something like that.
That's A Star Is Born.
A Star Is Born?
Yes.
No, okay.
Which I also
I'm getting
love.
them all blurred, but yeah, that's with James Mason. That I remember.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And they made a terrible remake with Barbra Streisand, which can't hold.
That's
water
right.
for
And
remake.
I think they're making a new one with Beyonce.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
really?
Oh.
That's what I hear.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
And the Wizard of Oz was on the other night, so I was thinking of Judy. And you're right, she
Yes.
does open a vein. There's another singer from Texas, Janis Joplin, and people used to say that about her because she sang with such great emotion.
Mm-hmm.
The PBS did a special on her, but let's not digress there. I get too tangential. So what's for the future for Scott Sikes? What are you going to do?
Seth.
I'm sorry. Jeez, Tony, what's wrong with me today?
We're taping, so we can.
I have so
All
much
that coffee.
Seth, jeez, why? So what's going to happen, Seth? And with the future, where do you see your career going? Because we were talking to our prior guest, who music has changed so much, and recording is different. People aren't buying discs the way they once did. Live performances are waning. Yet we need it.
Well, I'm doing at least one more of the Liza shows in New York. I'm taking it on the road. I'm doing it at Feinstein's at the Nico in San Francisco on June 16th. I've never done the show out of town before, so that's kind of
That's
exciting.
great. I've stayed at the Nico. It's great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's fancy, huh?
Mm-hmm. And IKKO, that hotel, right? Yeah,
I
it's
think
very
so.
nice. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I've never been to San Francisco before either.
Oh, really?
You're
You're gonna love
have a
it.
good time.
I'm excited about that. And I don't know. Again, like I hadn't really thought of myself as being a singer for a long time, so I hadn't really considered the future. But now people are talking to me about maybe making an album. But again, the kind of songs I sing are old songs. I don't know if people really want to hear that.
Why? They're old geezers like me who love Judy and Liza. So
I don't know. I saw a lot of young and old at your shows. So
That's
So-
true.
yeah.
How do we find you? Do you have a website?
Yeah, SethSikes.com.
SIKES.
SIKES, that's right. Sikes with an I. And of course, you can follow me on social media, Facebook, Seth Sikes, and Instagram, Seth Sikes, Twitter, Seth Sikes. It's pretty easy.
Is there a show coming up in New York, or one just passed, right?
June 8th.
June
at
8th.
Feinstein's 54 Below
Great.
at 7 p.m.
All right. Well, we're going to look for you, and I'm going to make sure to catch your next show.
Okay.
Thanks for coming on, Seth.
Thanks for having me.
All righty.